Merry ShatMas, everybody. It's ShatMas 23. Guess what? March 22nd, this is William Shatner's birthday. This is, feel free to disagree, one of the most important days in all of Star Trekdom, okay? I celebrate this. I celebrate First Contact Day. And now, hopefully, this isn't going to be the last ShatMas, the last William Shatner Day. I tell you, I mean, he himself said it. He doesn't have much time left. By all odds, by logic itself, that would dictate this could be the last ShatMas. Who knows? Hopefully not. When he dies, I'm probably going to shat my pants. But for now, to make this a little bit different than last year's Shat Day, ShatMas, Shadoween, whatever you want to call it, we're going to take a look at the Wikipedia article for William Shatner. What's that about? Did you ever just read it? One of those things that's so simple, maybe you didn't even think of it. I just take it for granted that Shat does what Shat is, and Shat is Shat, and this is that. But this is William Shatner on Wikipedia, so let's take a look. And some people say that he doesn't look like himself anymore. I totally disagree. I have no idea what people are talking about. I don't know if you've noticed this, people saying this, but some people say that how come when you get old you look totally different? He looks like a totally different person. I totally disagree. I've seen Shatner age in real time, and he looks like himself. Like, he looks amazing for being 92 today. 92. Imagine that. I mean, he looks younger than my aunt. Like, you know, like like he looks like he could be 50. I mean, I don't know how good this picture is. Maybe this is cherry picked. Maybe this is the best looking picture we can find of him. But I mean, you'd be hard pressed to say, you know, he looks, you know, he doesn't even really look like he's in his 60s. I'm going to be honest. He looks full figured, we'll say. Nobody likes when you look like a corpse, when you look like a skeleton, when you look like you got 1.5 feet in the grave. He doesn't look like that. William Shatner, born March 22, 1931. Okay? Have some respect. Think of the stuff he's seen. Okay? He's a Canadian actor in a career spanning 7 decades. Can we get him back? Can we get him back in the show somehow? Anyone listening? Terry Metalis. Anybody? Can you get him back? Guys. Can we get him back just for one scene, for anything at all? Just have him in the background, just one. Maybe you're running out of time. He is best known for his portrayal of James T. Kirk. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that William Shatner played James T. Kirk? Isn't that weird? I never realized that. How many other people have been had their character recast twice, right? We had Chris Pine, and then we had the guy from Strange New Worlds. Whatever his name was. I don't remember. He was there and gone. I'm probably forgetting a million other little tiny bits here and there, but you get the idea. His 1966 debut as the captain of the Starship Enterprise. Wow. And the second pilot. That's right. If you didn't know, Star Trek got a second chance. Yeah. First pilot. No. Try again. Unbelievable. How many times do you get a chance to make another pilot, right? Thank you, Desilu Studios, whoever else was involved, taking a chance for that second pilot. Of course, these episodes aired out of order, so don't go chronologically here. Look for the old uniform. That was the first episode that was actually filmed, if that matters to you. Okay, first pilot, Star Trek television series. His final appearance as Captain Kirk is in the 7th Star Trek feature film, Star Trek Generations. Let's make it Strange New World Season 2, maybe. Let's make that his last appearance. Shatner began his screen acting career in Canadian films and television productions before moving into guest starring roles in the various U.S. television shows. He appeared as James Kirk in all the episodes of Star Trek the original series, 21 of the 22 episodes of Star Trek the animated series. Go watch it. It's pretty cool. And the first 7 Star Trek movies. He has written a series of books. I have some books. I have books that he wrote from the so-called Shatnerverse, the original Shatner stories that he made inside the Star Trek universe. And I have a few books he wrote himself that are autobiographical in nature. Chronicling his experiences before, during, and after his time in the Starfleet uniform. He has also co-written several novels set in the Star Trek universe and a series of science fiction novels. The Tech War sequence that were adapted for television. Outside Star Trek, Shatner played the eponymous veteran police sergeant T.J. Hooker. I remember that. And hosted the reality-based television series Rescue 911. Don't remember that one. Which won a People's Choice Award for Favorite New TV Dramatic Series. Good on him for having a career outside of Star Trek. When you join Star Trek, you're there for life, baby. And if you can do anything outside of it, more power to you. It's hard, to not be typecast. His appearances as a guest star in 2 episodes of the television detective series Columbo, almost 2 decades apart, were among his many such contributions to the television shows from 1970s to 2010s. I used to watch that show, Columbo. Shatner's television career after his last appearance as Captain Kirk has embraced comedy, drama, reality shows. In seasons 4 and 5 of the NBC series Third Rock from the Sun, he played the alien Big Giant Head, to which the main character is reported. I remember that show when it was on. I saw it here and there. 2004 to 2008, he starred as attorney Denny Crane in the final season of the legal show The Practice, and its spin-off Boston Legal, is right, a role that earned him 2 Emmy Awards, one of his first contributions to each series in 2016, 2017, and 2018. He starred in both seasons of NBC's Better Late Than Never, a comical travel series in which a band of elderly celebrities toured East Asia and Europe. Aside from acting, Shatner has a career as a recording artist, beginning in 1968 with the album The Transformed Man. His cover versions of songs are dramatic recitations of their lyrics rather than musical performance. Awesome. Notable are his versions of the Beatles' Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Mr. Tambourine Man, Rocket Man. Hold on, I hear my communicator. Which includes covers of Pink Floyd's Learning to Fly, Space Oddity, Bohemian Rhapsody. I may have to get me some albums. Tell you that much. In 2021, Shatner flew into space. Aboard a Blue Origin suborbital capsule. At age 90, he became the oldest person to fly in space, and one of the first 600 to do so. Minutes after the flight, he described experiencing the overview effect. I remember that. His brief appearance in the opening scene of the high-profile production of Sophocles' Oedipus Rex by Tyrone Guthrie. Is that Oedipus Rex? I'm not Picard. I work down in engineering. I don't know how to say these things. Introduced him to television viewers across the whole of Canada. And Henry V. This is the 5th Henry film. He combined playing the minor role of the Duke of Gloucester with understudying Christopher Plummer as the king. When a kidney stone obliged Plummer to withdraw from a performance, Shatner's decision to present a distinctive interpretation of his role, rather than limiting his seniors, impressed Plummer as a striking manifestation of initiative and potential. Okay. Plummer later appeared as Klingon adversary of Captain Kirk in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. Even his momentous casting as James Kirk, he was, in Jordan's opinion, seen merely as an actor who showed up one time, knew his lines, were cheap, and always answered his phone. Well, they say at work, if the best guy doesn't show up, but you show up, you're the best guy there. Have you ever heard that? The person who's always there. If you're there when everyone else is gone, you are the best. And that sounds limiting towards William Shatner's abilities. I don't mean that in that way. William Shatner, I actually think, is very underrated as an actor. I always stand up for his performance in TOS and beyond. I'm always the guy who defended him. His role, his performance, his style, I actually really liked it. I was the guy that always said, no, William Shatner, James Kirk, he's cooler than Spock. What are you talking about? everyone always said, no, Spock this, Spock that, Spock's the best. I was always the Kirk guy. I always had to be that guy. And I get to have my day here, so don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin the last thing I have left. Howdy Doody. During the cast of puppets and Clarabelle the Clown. Man, he had to do a lot of stuff to get Star Trek, didn't he? And I don't even think he was the first pick for Captain Kirk. I think they wanted Jack Lord, I think. Not counting Jeffrey Hunter, right? If we don't count the original pilot, the Cage. Shatner received good reviews in the role of Lomax in The World of Susie Wong. Detective Archie Goodwin in what would have been television's first Nero Wolfe series. Oh, Shatner appeared in 2 episodes of Twilight Zone. I remember that. I saw that. No, I'm not that old. But they had reruns. I remember seeing him in that, and I was thinking, how can Captain Kirk be in Twilight Zone? This makes no sense. When a Twilight Zone portmanteau film was produced 20 years later, it was a remake of the latter episode of the movie climaxed. He appeared twice as Wayne Gorham in NBC's Outlaws, a Western series with Burton McLean, and then returned to Alfred Hitchcock Presents for a 5th season episode. It just keeps going and going and going. Shatner was featured in 2 episodes of the NBC television series Thriller. I mean, what the crap? The Man from U.N.C.L.E. that featured Leonard Nimoy, later to be his co-star in Star Trek. Yeah. Alongside Adam West. In Alexander, a pilot for a proposed series called Alexander the Great. Later castigating the pilot for one of the worst scripts I've ever read, and calling it as one of the worst things I've ever done. Aww. That's what West said? Really? Alexander the Great? Is that bad? Man, 1965, we're getting close. Look at all this. Starred in a little-known spaghetti western, White Comanche, playing both a white hat character and his black hat evil twin, eh? 1966. Shatner cast as James T. Kirk for the second pilot for Star Trek Where No Man Has Gone Before. Oh, man. He was then contracted to play Kirk for the remainder of the show, and he sat in the captain's chair of the USS Enterprise, 1966 to 1969. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Do I need to read this to you? What are you doing here if you don't know this? Overcoming typecasting. Didn't they all? He refers to this part of his life as that period, a humbling time during which he would take any odd job, including small party appearances, in order to support his family. Roger Corman's Big Bad Mama. Don't you be dissing on Roger Corman now. The horror film, The Devil's Reign, Kingdom of the Spiders, Saul Levitt's The Andersonville Trial, The People, The Horror 37,000 Feet. Man, I got a lot of catching up to do on my on the Shatner verse here. Man, we almost had Shatner hosting Family Feud. That would have been cool. That's a good idea. That's kind of like when people wanted LeVar Burton to continue hosting Jeopardy. That would have been awesome. Oldsmobile. Margarine. Super value. Loblaws, dude. The former hero of Starfleet, reassuring them that at Loblaws, more than the price is right, but by gosh, the price is right. Let's go. Oh my god. Star Trek movies, T.J. Hooker. Yeah, I remember this. It acquired a cult following among people watching syndicated reruns of the series. It became a cultural icon. A lot of people don't really understand this, but Star Trek came and went, but the fans didn't. They hung around through that dark era, the first dark age of Star Trek. They became the first Trekkies, right? Organizing conventions where they could meet like-minded enthusiasts. Oh, man. Star Trek Phase 2. A lot of concepts from that became the basis for everything that would be going forward post-TOS. You all need to research Star Trek Phase 2 like yesterday. You need to understand what's going on in that. It had the elements of TNG. What would become the motion picture came out of that, and a lot of things beyond. You can see the rumblings of a lot of different things that would come to fruition later. Of course, potential sequel content for the original Star Trek, like Star Trek Planet of the Titans, Ralph McQuarrie's concept design for the ship for that show would be reused, basically almost the same for Discovery. I wish they kept it closer to the original concept. Not that I love the concept, but I like it better than what we got with the Crossfield class. Your opinion may vary, but to make it really simple for you, Star Trek Phase 2 is a fascinating period in Star Trek history. What could have been, eh? Yeah, they all returned for Star Trek the Motion Picture, but there was rumblings for a while that maybe they would recast people. Imagine recasting Kirk. I think they were considering Robert Redford for Captain Kirk. Yeah, I don't think so. His final appearances as James Tiberius were in the movie sequences of the video game Starfleet Academy. I remember that. 2006 DirecTV advertisement used footage from Star Trek VI The Undiscovered Country, and the 2013 Academy Awards in which he reprised the role for a comedic interlude with the show's host, Seth MacFarlane. Shatner star in the Canada's Walk of Fame. Look at that. That star should probably be shaped a little different, but it's still pretty cool. DreamWorks Over the Hedge. He voiced Ozzy and a possum. In Walt Disney's The Wild, he had the role of the movie's villain Khazar, a megalomaniacal wild wildebeest. That's something. In January 2007, he began posting daily autobiographical vlogs on the live video platform in a project he named Shatner Vision, rebranded as the Shatner Project. Migrated to YouTube the following year, of course. Shatner was not offered or suggested a role in the 2009 film Star Trek. They're desperately trying to figure out a way to put him in, but that to shove him in would be a disaster, an opinion echoed by Shatner. And yeah, I can kind of see that. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. Make it, but for God's sakes, make it make sense first. Describe the film as wonderful. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, eh? 2 years before its release, his own tale of how the characters of the original series Star Trek might have come together was published in his novel Star Trek Academy Collision Course. That has been tried multiple times. I have at least 2 different novels here, completely different, to try to explain like Star Trek prequel shenanigans. Shatner being host on the Discovery Channel show. Weird or what? I saw every episode of that, which aired until August 2012. Each episode of the series supplied lovers of Arcana, with several segments exploring news reports relating to left field topics such as UFOs. I love that stuff. I watched all of it. There's a few different projects that had lend of William Shatner's voice. I think he has a great voice. He has a lot of gravitas, and I like all of it. Yeah, The Captains. That's right, I saw this. Also wrote and presented was a feature-length documentary in which he interviewed all 5 of the actors who portrayed the principal role in the Star Trek sequels that had been created up to that point. Patrick Stewart, Scott Bakula, Avery Brooks, Kate Mulgrew. Everyone should watch that. '22, getting pretty recent. Masked Singer as Knight? Depicted as a knight riding a golden goose. A running gag is that the golden goose that Knight rides keeps trying to attack Nick Cannon. He was eliminated in the first episode alongside Eric Idle as Hedgehog and Chris Kirkpatrick as Hummingbird. I don't know, you're going to have to explain this to me. I don't know what Masked Singer is. American reality television series premiered on Fox. It is part of the Masked Singer franchise. Began in South Korea. Features celebrities singing songs while wearing head-to-toe costumes. Oh, so what do? You just a celebrity singing and you have to guess who they are or something? Shatner hosted and executive produced The Unexplained on History from 20... What's that? It's funny how I recognize the old stuff, but the new stuff eludes me. I don't know what that is. Transformed Man and Other Albums, we looked at that. I got some listening to do, and so do you. Performances of songs on television and films. Space career. Here we go. Ever since its Apollo 15 lunar mission, NASA has woken up its astronauts with specially tailored recordings. March 7, 2011, the crew on STS-133 of the Space Shuttle Discovery began their last day docked at the International Space Station with Alexander Courage's title theme for Star Trek and Shatner reciting an adapted version of the show's famous introduction, Space, the Final Frontier. These have been the voyages of the Space Shuttle Discovery. Oddly prophetic. Her 30-year mission to seek out new science. It's kind of seek out new science. It's kind of a weird sentence to put together. To build new outposts, to bring nations together on the final frontier, to boldly go and do what no spacecraft has done before. Could have used a few rewrites. It's not somehow to seek out new science. How about to seek out new scientific possibilities, seek out new discoveries, I guess. I don't know, it makes it sound like you find science under a rock. I guess you technically do, but science is more like, an ethereal kind of thing that surrounds multiple discoveries. It doesn't seem like something you find behind your fridge. 2021, Shatner took part in Blue Origin's second suborbital human spaceflight, Blue Origin. I remember the whole thing. Invited to join Chris Boshuzin, Glenn DeVries, and Audrey Powers on the trip by Blue Origin's creator, the entrepreneur and Trekkie Jeff Bezos. Really? We can call him a Trekkie? I mean, I don't know. I don't know him personally. But calling somebody a Trekkie, there's some, you gotta pass the tests, You gotta answer the questions. You gotta not blink. You gotta look forward. You gotta not look backward. Is that Jeff Bezos? I don't know. He began his real-world visit to space at Blue Origin's launch site, West Texas. Okay. Became the oldest person to fly into space, surpassing Wally Funk, who had flown on Blue Origin's first crew spacecraft. Wally Funk, who had flown on Blue Origin's first crewed space flight. I wanted to say first crewed spacecraft, but that wasn't what it was at the age of 82. Yeah, that's what he said. He said something like, that thin layer surrounding the Earth facilitates life, and beyond that, it's just death. It's just nothing but death. He said something like that. Yeah, here's his family. He's been married 4 times, if you care. Who's his current wife? Shatner's third wife was Noreen Kidd. What the hell? Returning home at around 10 p.m., he found her lying lifeless at the bottom of their backyard swimming pool. She was 40 years old. Once an autopsy revealed her blood contained both alcohol and diazepam. The coroner decided that the cause of her death was accidental drowning, and Los Angeles Police Department agreed that there was no evidence of foul play. Work with horses. I've never worked with horse. Have you? Filmography. 2-time Saturn Award winner. Life Career Award, I should say. Best Actor. 2-time Emmy Award winner. Golden Globe. Prism Award. Streamy Award. Voice Arts Icon Award. Multiple-time World Champion Breeder in Equestrian. I don't even know what that involves. American Saddlebred Horse Association Service Award. National Reining Host Association Dale Wilkinson Lifetime Achievement Award. ASHACJ Cronin Sportsmanship Award. Governor General's Performing Arts Award. Appointed an Officer of the Order of Canada by Canadian Governor Julie Payette. 2014 NASA Distinguished Public Service Medal. 1983 Star Hollywood Walk of Fame. Canada's Walk of Fame. Television Hall of Fame. WWE Hall of Fame. Celebrity Wing Inductee. Okay, now we're talking. 2011 Honorary Doctorate of Letters from McGill University. I'm not sure what that means. 2-time Golden Raspberry Award winner. Worst Actor, Star Trek V. Worst Director, Star Trek V. Fiction. Look at all this, man. Tech war. Tech lords. Tech secret. Tech power. Tech money. Tech kill. TechNet. Ashes of Eden. Yep, I have some of these. Spectre. Dark Victory. Man of War. Law of War. Quest for Tomorrow. William Shatner's Tech World. Star Trek The Ashes of Eden. Non-fiction. Captain's Log. William Shatner's personal account of the making of Star Trek V The Final Frontier. Star Trek Memories. Have it. Star Trek Movie Memories. Have it. Up till now. Spirit of the Horse. A celebration in fact and fable with Jeff Roven. Boldly Go. Reflections on a life of awe and wonder. Audiobooks. It just doesn't stop with this guy. Transform Man. William Shatner Live. Spaced Out. Has Been. Exodus. An oratorio in 3 parts. Seeking Major Tom. Did they ever find him? Ponder the Mystery. I don't know why that's funny. Why not me? The Blues. Shatner Claus. Bro. Bill. It's just Bill. And then references. What a time. What a time was had by me. Was a time had by you. What do you guys think of the William Shatner Wikipedia article? It's a mouthful. I had the 55th anniversary Star Trek Bauer Media Group Specials magazine that I got since last ShatMas. I got this the summer of 2022 when William Shatner was 91. How a vision of a better future led to the greatest sci-fi franchise in history. Look at that. Very cool. This is a 1 of 2 variant cover. I have the Spock cover over there, but today we're looking at this one. And if we turn it around, we have this amazing shot from behind the scenes of the motion picture with Gene Roddenberry, DeForest Kelley, Leonard Nimoy, and William Shatner below there. See that? The trifecta and Gene Roddenberry at the same time, in the same frame. I hope that Star Trek has helped to show us what we can be if we believe in ourselves and our abilities. Gene Roddenberry says at the bottom. There's William Shatner. Was he too old and busted to play Kirk in 1979? Holy crap, it's 2023. He doesn't look that old and busted now, to be honest with you. Man. And I got the VHS tapes of the Star Trek TOS movies, where if you line them up, it displays that picture of the Enterprise, on the spines. It's very cool. I dig. I dig the look and the uniforms of the motion picture. I don't mind it. I like the style. It it's very different. It's clinical. It looks very professional, and I love the captain's variant that William Shatner wears in that movie. The white short sleeve. It's so cool. The yachtsman outfit, it feels like to me. Here we go. The captain. It was an interesting gamble. I've always been fascinated by science fiction. Say that again. Photograph, 1979. Theater showing Star Trek the motion picture. William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Star Trek. Check that out. Anyway, I'm glad you could all join me for hopefully not the last Shatner birthday. Hopefully we got many more. But let's be real. I mean, he's being real. He just said it. We're on borrowed time, as it were. I'm Lieutenant Mark, and hopefully I'm going to see you for the next birthday of William Shatner. So long.